Historians note that the excavation of tin in Bangka has started from the 1st century. However, this extractive industry started to become massive when Chinese coolies were hired to increase production. For hundreds of years, tin has become a strategic commodity. For hundreds of years the environment has been neglected. By Fikri Muhammad in the past, Bangka Island had various names. Starting from Bangka, Wangka, Manopan, Mayatdong, China Bato, and Bangka. The names are inscribed on the 1st century Hindu literary book Milne Drapantha and a Hindu-Buddhist holy book called Nidsa. Historian George Coedes also mentions that before the 1st century, many sailors from India came to Wangka. In Sanskrit it means lead. So, from the 3 important records it is strongly suspected that tin excavation has existed in Bangka since the beginning of the 1st century. After centuries, ancient kingdoms also kept records of tin in Bangka, like the Sriwijaya kingdom with the discovery of the Kota Kapur inscription which tells about tin mining on Bangka Island in the 7th century. The use of tin at that time, according to Fakhrizal Abubakar, head of the Muntok Indonesian Tin Museum, TMI, was for bartering media and as inscription material. However, the excavation of tin is still on a small scale with a simple tool surface tin shell. It was only during the Palembang Sultanate under the leadership of Sultan Mahmud Badruddin I in the 1730s to 1740s that tin mining on Bangka Island was carried out on a large scale. The story is, Sultan Mahmud Bahaduruddin I married a young wife of Chinese descent from Johor Siantan named Mas A. Ratu Zamna alias Lim Ba Neo. Then, Zamna asked to find a new place to live. Muntok city was designated in West Bangka and 7 houses were built for Zamna and her family from Johor. Muntok is a gift from the Sultan of Palembang for Zamna. Automatically Muntok became the center of Bangka Island and later became a special area, especially for noble families, said Suwito Wu, head of Bangka Chinese Heritage. The name Muntok itself has its origins. When Zamna set sail, he pointed to a land. Then it is called Entok, which in Johor language means that. Over time, the area has the toponym of Mentok. Then other name changes followed later. Muntok is the Dutch spelling. They can't spell the letter E, said Suwito, explaining why Mentok city is now called Muntok. After Zamna occupied Muntok, the city was made more organized by government and rapid development. The figure appointed by the Palembang Sultanate to realize this wish was Wan Akub, Zamna's uncle. He was appointed as head of state and head of tin mining in Bangka at that time. Tin production at that time was not large because the excavation was still on the surface. Wan Akub then suggested to the Palembang Sultanate to bring in Chinese miners from Siam and Chichen. Instantly the production of tin mines increased dramatically, so that the coffers of the Palembang Sultanate increased. The Sultanate employed Chinese people not without reason. In addition to being more disciplined and powerful than the natives, they have a pit system in mining. They brought hoe technology that was not yet known by the natives in 1733, in very much. The Sultan of Palembang was also involved in an agreement that tin could not be sold elsewhere. Must be bought, he said. In 1811 the British occupied Bangka. The Palembang Sultanate under Sultan Najamuddin handed over Bangka and Belitung to the British. The British formed a resident and changed Mentok's name to Minto. The Palembang Sultanate's trade relations with the Vok were severed and replaced by the East India Company, EIC, with Lord Minto as Governor-General of India. However, in 1814 the Treaty of London I emerged, requiring England to hand over Bangka to the Dutch colonial government, so that in 1816 the Dutch took full control of Bangka. 3 years later in 1819 the Dutch formed Bangka Tin Winning Bedrijf, BTW, a Dutch state-owned tin company, as well as selling tin under the brand name Bangka.